Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're here in the Dragon's Lair Abyss Heart stage, and I'm going to be giving you guys a couple units that you could use to clear this dungeon at a fast and consistent rate. By fast, I do mean around a minute 20, a minute 30. That's what my run times are, but your run times and or success may be dependent on your rune quality. If your rune quality is garbage, you're going to probably fail, because landing your stuff, landing your debuffs, landing critical hits and all that stuff will be important. So I suggest that you farm in giants a little while before trying to move on to the next dungeon, but if you're here, I imagine that you've done more than enough farming and you're just ready to complete the Dragon's Lair. But again, do keep in mind, rune quality does matter here. So with that in mind, let's go over one more PSA. I almost forgot. Some of these teams are free to play, some of these teams are not so free to play. But at the end of the day, you will be able to at least build one of these teams. But before we do build those teams, let's go into the skills of the Abyss, Soul, Legendary, Dragon, whatever you want to call it. I stutter on words, so get used to that. Skill 1 attacks all enemies and inflicts 2 continuous damage effects for 3 turns. The damage increases if the enemy is suffering a harmful effect. This is a pretty big deal. When you're building these teams for the first time, bring cleanses. Whether that's through Veramos, which I recommend Veramos, or that's through Lulu, or any unit that can cleanse at a consistent rate, bring them. Because the difference in damage is massive. I'm talking about without continuous damage on your team, whenever he attacks you, it's like he's tickling you. And then with continuous damage on you, it's like he just erases your team. It's like he attacks, you blink, and then when you open your eyes again, your team is gone. That's the type of damage he does. Skill 2, when a tower is destroyed, the dragon deals a deadly counterattack to the one who took the last blow, or that dealt the last blow. So aiming for the towers is not a good strategy, not only because it just takes longer, but because you do lose a unit. So unless you speed tune a team really well to where a specific unit dies every time, then there's no real point in doing it. And if you could speed tune a team really well doing that, you might as well tune a team to aim for the dragon. And his passive is where his attack power increases greatly when HP becomes lower than 30%. So that is also something to look out for. His towers are also really important, where his left tower inflicts continuous damage to all enemies for 3 turns. So this paired up with the second skill, pretty deadly. The right tower, which is the most annoying to everybody, is the one that removes all harmful effects on the boss and grants immunity for 3 turns. This is what we're going to have to worry about when building our team. Because unless you have a super fast team that could just really nuke super early, like it takes like 1 rotation to nuke hard, you're going to have to bring a countermeasure for this. So taking that into consideration, let's build our team. Let's build our first team. Okay, so here we have our first team, and it is completely free to play. Vertiheel and Veramos are fusion monsters, Spectra and Lauren are secret dungeon monsters, and Crow you can obtain from the missions tab, which you get from entering the dimensional hole for the first time. So yeah, it's a pretty good team, and when you look at it, there's tons of attack bar manipulation, tons of damage, and overall it is a team that works really well together. But let's go into each unit and look at the responsibilities. Vertiheel is here to make sure the team just goes fast. They're always moving, right? The name of the game in this dungeon is prevent the boss and his crystals from taking turns, and you give your team as many turns as possible. And trust me, he's a big deal. You'll notice that if you try and take him out, that your runs probably don't work as well, or they're a little bit slower. He's a really good unit. Speed lead 28%, and his passive is whenever he lands critical hits, he increases the attack bar of all allies by 20%. And obviously you can't just bring a team of 5 Vertiheels, because it doesn't work like that, because the passives won't work on other Vertiheels or units that have similar passives. The way you're going to want to rune this guy is speed crit damage HP percent in the beginning. Reason being is because the worst thing about it, about building this team for beginners, is that Vertiheel or Vertihile, however people call him Verd might die to the waves. And if he dies to the waves, the boss stage is going to be near impossible for you guys. So speed crit damage HP, but since they make the dungeons so easy, you can see that my Vertiheel is nothing special. So you should be able to build them speed crit damage attack, swift blade, and he should work pretty well. I will go through and re-ruin this guy eventually, but I haven't re-ruined him since the day I ruined him. So, he looks really bad. And he doesn't need to be skilled up, in case I haven't said that. For Lauren, she's here to lock the boss down and place a defense break and slows and not beneficial effects block, but HP disturb recovery. Really good unit. I mean, she's also here to strip in case the crystal does move, so she's really helpful. I've replaced her with Bella Dion before, and it has worked, but I feel like Lauren is just a better unit in general. But for Lauren, Swift Energy, Speed HP. You can go Speed HP Accuracy if you want. I feel like she has to have really high accuracy, otherwise it feels like she never does her job. But 80% accuracy, over 100 speed, tons of HP. Your Lauren might not look like this. It might look a little worse, maybe a little better, who knows. But at the very least, as long as you're moving and you're able to take hits and you're landing your stuff, doesn't matter. Now, her skill ups, you don't need to have her skilled up. I was doing this before I had her fully skilled up, and it was working fine. I just like that when she's fully skilled up, she's getting this strip a little bit faster. So your runs do finish faster if she's fully skilled up. But keep that in mind, you can do it without her being fully skilled up. For Veramos, his passive is really why he's here. I mean, I could bring tons of other units, but his passive is just so helpful. He cleanses all harmful effects, and when you go back and look at the boss's skill info, the boss does damage based off of harmful effects. So the fact that Veramos is just cleansing that every time he takes a turn prevents the boss from doing big damage. So in a way, you're getting healing from Veramos, and you're not taking as much damage from the boss. He also does damage based off of enemies' max HP, which is really good to the boss, because the boss has over 318,000 health here, which is crazy. So the fact that he's doing that type of damage to the boss, it's really cool. Not only that, he does stun the enemies, which is good for the waves leading up to the boss. And if he doesn't stun the enemy, he reduces their attack bar. As guys might recall from the Giants video, you can't stun bosses. Not, at the very least, not the Dragon's boss. So this will most likely reduce the attack bar of not only the boss, but the crystals, which you do not want those crystals to move. So overall, really helpful unit. He's on Despair Energy, which is what I recommend. The Despair is for the waves leading up to the boss stage. But there are his runes and his artifacts. Moving on to Crow. Crow is just your basic damage dealer. He places branding. He teams up with another ally, which if he teams up with Verd, it's good. If he teams up with Lauren, it's good. Any of these units on the team, if he teams up with them, really good. So not the best runes, but pretty decent. But Fatal Blade in the beginning. Eventually you want to move into Rage Blade when you do start farming Necropolis, but obviously you probably not. So for Spectra, Swift Blade in the beginning is what you want him on, but I've moved him down to Rage Blade. Now, you want him on Speed, Crit Damage, Attack. I've seen some people go Attack, Crit Damage, Attack, which works perfectly fine. People think that you have to have your Spectra on like 200 bonus speed to beat dragons. You do not have to. Because your Vertiheel and Lauren and just the rest of your team are preventing the enemy from moving so much, and then you're taking so many turns thanks to Vertiheel, your speed is irrelevant here. I mean, think about like Crow. Crow has no speed whatsoever, and he's taking tons of turns. You don't need tons of speed on Spectra, in my opinion. I still have him on speed because it's helpful for me. But speed, crit damage, attack. You can go speed, crit damage, HP in the beginning if you have to. I threw him on Rage to give him a little bit more crit damage, but as you can see, my ability to ruin units is garbage because he doesn't have 200% crit rate. His skill ups are very helpful, so if you can get them, I would recommend it, especially for a skill 2, because I believe it goes from every 3 turns to every 2 turns. But the reason why Spectra is here is to reduce the attack bar of all enemies, because it's an AoE. It reduces their attack speed and attack power. The AoE attack bar reduction and attack speed reduction is helpful for the crystal because, again, it prevents the crystal from moving, and it also makes it move slower. This one deals damage based off of enemy's max HP. I believe it's based off of 23% of the enemy's max HP. So he can dish out a good amount of damage. So his artifacts are HP, flat. Let's finally get into this run. You guys have no idea how many times I tried to do a take on that. My brain get stuck when trying to speak. God dang it. I've done like 20 takes. I just can't speak, man. It's just, I must have like problems. I must be like, let's just say I didn't write the short bus to school, but I might as well have. But Spectra is a really good unit here. I mean, it could be really easy to look over units like Spectra or Lauren or Crow or Vertiheel or Veramos just because they're free to play, but they're so good. Especially Spectra. I mean, look at that. AoE, slows, attack bar reduction. Boom, 18k. And you can build him on HP and he'd still do a lot of damage. I just think if you can get out, even if it's like 5 to 10 extra thousand damage, why not try it? As you can see, they're completely dominating this stage. So boom, backlash. Pay attention to that right crystal. You're going to notice that it might hop up a bit as we're fighting this boss. But Veramos and Spectra do an amazing job of preventing it from moving. Oh, we missed that one on the right crystal. There we go. That was a pretty good time. And you notice that Spectra and Veramos were dealing anywhere from 60 to 80k on that boss. I mean, when you get to these Abyss stages, you're going to notice that the enemy's max HP is just super high. Units that are based off of attack like Lucian or units like, I don't know, like other units, like maybe like Fami if you used her for some reason. While they're good, and they're probably good for the waves leading up to the boss, once they get to the boss, their damage isn't really that significant since the boss just has so much HP. But, I digress, whatever. Let's move on to the next team. Okay, so here we have our second team, and this team, believe it or not, is better than the free-to-play team. Now, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, so essentially all you've done is replaced Vertiheel with Tyron. How's that better? You lose out on a speed lead, and you lose out on attack bar or attack bar boosting. So you're not taking as many turns, and your monsters aren't as fast as before. If I told you that this team is not only faster than the other team, but also is more safer than the other team, would you believe me? Well, you should. Let me explain how this team works. So when we get to the Dragon's boss or whatever, you'll notice in the last run that the Crystal and the boss build up attack bar pretty fast. I mean, and if we would have missed even more than just one of our attack bar reduction skills, the Crystal would have cleansed the boss. Well, Tyron also has AoE attack bar reduction, and he has a bit of damage on him. As you can see, he's speed crit damage attack on a Despair Blade set. So he's helpful for the waves. So the waves deal less damage. The waves just don't do anything in general. And then the boss and the Crystal just don't get a chance to move. Let's go through his skills. His skill 1 is virtually useless. He increases his crit rate if he gets a critical hit, which doesn't make sense. But skill 2 attacks all enemies with the Cyclone 2 times, which when you think about it, obviously the waves have tons of enemies, so you're hitting everybody. But in the boss stage, you're also hitting the dragon and the crystal with this. So each attack has a 40% chance of increasing the enemy's chance of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns. This is helpful for not only the mid-boss, which can really mess up your team, but this is also helpful for the dragon. So if the dragon does somehow manage to move, he's not going to do as big damage on you guys as he would have on any other team. Also reduces the attack bar by 75% if you attack an enemy under the decreased attack speed effect with each attack. So a multi-hit AoE that reduces attack bar and makes the enemy glance, as long as the enemy has an attack speed reduction. Who on our team has attack speed reduction? Spectra does on a skill 3, and Lauren does in her skill set. I believe it's through her passive. No, it's on her skill 1. So her skill 1 reduces attack speed. But also Tyron does with his skill 3. Attacks all enemies with a hailstorm to decrease their attack speed for 2 turns and freezes them for 1 turn. While he can't freeze them, you can't freeze the boss, but you can freeze the wave. There's going to be an attack speed decrease on the enemies, which will allow him to reduce the crystal and the dragon's speed or attack bar by 75%. So the crystal just doesn't move as often. Yes, you're not getting as many turns out, but the dragon is not getting any turns out, and neither is the crystal. So we're going to take a look at this run, and you'll guys see exactly how fast this run is. So let's take a look. So as you can see, just the waves leading up to the boss are just not going to be able to do anything. They just can't do anything to us. They're frozen, they're stunned, their attack bar is being reduced. It really seems unfair at this point. But if Tyron's fully skilled up, it becomes even faster. But my Tyron isn't skilled up, and I mean, if he's working, he's working. So there we go. Look at that. Boom. Everyone's attack bar was decreased, and they're either frozen or slowed or stunned. Really helpful. And I do recommend putting your Tyron on damage. If you get 2 Tyrons, I recommend 1 for damage and then 1 for HP. But look at that. That's the one time they got to move. My fastest time on this team was 1:17. So, pretty good. Boom, there's a speed slow. And then boom, there's the attack bar reduction. There it was. Again, if he's fully skilled up, you'll have a consistent fast run. This was a little bit slower, but 1:32. But you see, he's responsible for that 1:17 at the bottom. In fact, that's all 1s and 7s right there. It's a pretty safe run, because you just prevent the enemy from moving, you prevent the waves from moving. But again, fully skilling him up does help. But let's move on to the final team, and we'll get this show over with. Okay, so here we have the final team, and this team consists of Vertiheel, Jean, Lauren, Spectra, and Veramos. Essentially, we replace Crow and we put Jean as the primary damage dealer. Now you're wondering, how is this going to be any better than Crow? Let's be honest, Crow has really amazing damage. Well, I got this, this unit. He was inspired from another player in this game. I wish I could remember the player's name. I just don't. We talked very briefly in chat, and he told me that Jean has more consistent damage. I was like, that doesn't seem possible. How is that possible? So I went and took a look at Jean, and he does, in fact, have more consistent damage if you take a quick look. So his passive states, he increases his attack bar by 50% when the enemy target is defeated or stunned after an attack. And he deals 100% more damage if the enemy's HP is higher than your HP. Like, come on, we're in Abyss. The enemy is going to have higher HP. I mean, the boss literally has 318,000 health. There's no way he doesn't have more HP than you, right? So, I have him on Rage Blade. You can have him on Fatal Blade. He's on attack, crit damage, attack. I try to avoid grinding up any HP stats that he might have. So you'll see ungrinded. I mean, we can't grind anything here. Maybe this. I have no mana, bro. I've been messing with so many units the last few days. Well, whatever. But I have him on Rage Blade because I can afford to do that. So he'll work good here. But Fatal Blade, attack, crit damage, attack. And you could focus on not giving him so much crit rate, because he does get a critical rate bonus by 30% on skill 1 and skill 2. And he stuns on both of these skills. So yeah, and his skill 2 ignores all damage reduction effects. So do keep that in mind, because he could be a useful unit even outside of this stage. But yeah, I mean, you gotta check him out. Like, check this out. 51,000 damage. 14k. Just skill 1, 14k. Skill 2, 40, 50k. It's crazy. There's no need for, just debuffs. There's no need to, for Crow, it's like, yes, you get big damage off of skill 3 and even a little bit less, but still tons on skill 2. But then when he's on cooldown from both of those, he's not really doing tons of damage. But with Jean, it's constant. And there's other units you could use. I mean, I want to take a look at one unit that I built that I haven't used yet because I just haven't gotten to it. I fell asleep last night before I could use him. But 52k, dang. That's cool. I mean, don't worry about the crystal, guys. It's all good. Not bad. So 21k skill 1. By this time it doesn't matter. Look at that. That's really good. Let's see the time. 1 minute 26. Not bad. So, there's one more unit. I'm not even going to bother trying to cut. We'll take him out. I want to put Kyle. So, Kyle, violent, attack, crit damage, attack. The reason I want to try him is because of his passive, where he increases the damage by 100% if you get a turn without getting attacked for 1 turn. Gains another turn instantly after attacking. The effect of gaining a turn is activated only once per turn, so he takes tons of turns. He deals damage if he's not hit. I mean, we got the trifecta of taking turns without getting hit. Not the trifecta. We just got the perfect team for pushing out turns and preventing turns. So let's see. 18. Okay, 20. Okay, not bad. He's doing pretty much the same as Gene. And plus he has an attack lead, so we could try him with the attack lead as well. But I mean, just the captain of not taking turns. Boom, boom, boom. Dude. They about killed that boss real quick too. Boom. Boom. And if he violent procs, that's even crazier. So he could just get... I put violent in case he does get attacked. Because if he gets attacked and then he violence out of it, technically it will count as a turn that he obtained without getting an attack, right? So look at this. Boom, boom. Boom. Dude, I was so scared to use him in this video because I hadn't tested him yet, so I don't know if he works properly. Come on. It's fine. Like... like knife through butter. Like a knife through butter. That was good. I liked it. That was not bad. Okay. God dang it. We'll try one more run. I want to try with the attack lead. The attack power lead. How much faster is it? If it's any faster at all. Plus he has a defense break too. We do got to take that into consideration. And it really doesn't matter if he's skilled up at first. I mean, if he does get skilled up, it's even better because he gets that skill 2 every 2 turns, which is essentially all the time. So it'll help with clearing the mid-boss and everything. Dude, that's... wow. Did he stun? Oh, he has a stun skill 2? I didn't pay attention to his skill 2. Not necessarily. I knew it had a defense break. Boom. It's just... this is beautiful right here. Oh, we need... I mean, even if the crystal does manage to get that thing off, like that, it's already too late. The boss is almost dead. Boom. Okay, see, that's pretty good. I don't think it's going to be that much faster. I think that's probably like 1:30. Yeah, see, 1:32. Okay, we have one last team to try. So I did mention earlier in the video that I was going to use Tayor instead of Tyron, because Tayor does have attack bar reduction, and it's by 100% regardless on skill 3. Tayor is fully skilled up. He does damage based off of attack speed, and the attack will always crit, even if I don't have a ton of crit rate, if I'm faster than the enemy, which hopefully I am. And then damage dealt increases off of enemy status. Good for waves, good for everything. Just big nuker, big damage. We'll do this run and then one last run, which I want to try a run with Kyle as the lead. So we take out Verd completely, but we gain Kyle for damage. And we get Tayor. So we get good attack bar manipulation, but we also get Kyle's attack lead. So I want to see how that is. I mean, we won't have tons of attack bar pushing, but so be it. But Tayor is really good for crowd control. I mean, he can dish out big damage. Reduce attack bar, again, by 100% on skill 3. It's pretty good. Oh, God. I hope some of you guys are having a good time completing these stages now. I know some of you guys are like me, where you have trouble in the beginning. So it could be very difficult to start on these teams. But, that's why I'm here. I want to help you guys, because I know I had a hard time trying to beat these teams, but once you beat these floors, it's just, you feel so much better. Boom. Reduce attack bar. That tower is not moving. This is probably like a minute 30 though, ain't it? That didn't feel that fast. A minute 20. Not bad. Sell that. So let's take you out. Let's put Kyle. Hopefully the attack bar manipulation or decreasing is enough to justify bringing Kyle, because that would be really cool if this works. Crush. Boom, boom. Boom. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. I haven't tried this team before, so if this gets a really fast time, that'd be cool. Stuns. Boom. The good thing is, we have so much attack bar manipulation that Kyle is just not getting hit. And to see that the AI aims for Lauren on the second wave is really cool. Boom. Okay, crush. Prevent that tower from moving. Ooh, Tayor's skill 3 didn't work. Oh my gosh! That's like maybe a new time, maybe? Oh my god! There's no way! That's not correct. Okay, dude, we have to one more time. I'm so sorry. We have to one more time. I'm so sorry for laughing that loud. Holy crap. That did not happen. That felt faster, too. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's crazy. They aim for Tayor. That's kind of scary, though. Okay. Tayor kind of gets close, but that's if we get unlucky. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I love this so much. There's no way. There's no way. A minute. Okay, that's it. We're done. End the video. I hope you guys had a good time. I'm having a good time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.